Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. So today we're doing a show and tell. Here is a little wooden art dude that my granddad gave me absolutely ages ago. Oh wait, is this show tell or show and tell? Maybe we should try this again. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. For those of you that are new around here, my name is Hannah and I'm an author from the south of England. Today we are going to be talking about show versus tell, what it means, how to use it, how to spot when you're maybe telling over showing, and basically what it can mean for your writing. This video is part of a huge collaboration known as Wordstock. This is Wordstock 3 and it's created by Robert over at The Story Detective. If you have not subscribed to his channel, you absolutely need to. His content is a goldmine for writers and authors, so you need to head over there. Just subscribe to his channel, just trust me. There'll be tons more videos going out today about show v tell, loads of different perspectives from authors, writers, I think we've got some illustrators. It's really cool, massive mixture of people. We hear so many rules in the day-to-day as a writer, so many that you learn at school, like alliteration, rule of three, how to pace things, but the one that you probably hear the most is show, don't tell. It's never as easy as 100% show and 0% tell, but you get the gist. Show v tell feels like a massive topic. It's quite intimidating. It's one of those that personally, when I first started writing, I felt like if I didn't nail it straight away, it would be really obvious that I was a novice, and that's not really true. So in this video, I want to break down the idea of show and tell so we can chat about it a bit more. First off, we'll look at some definitions. So what do we mean by show and tell? Then we can move on to 5 sort of handy tips I kind of have for myself to spot when I am maybe telling a bit too much in my own writing. Then we'll move on to maybe why we prefer showing our readers things rather than telling them. And then hopefully we'll move on to put everything we chatted about into practice with an example. And I really hope it works. Okay, so tell. It's pretty self-explanatory what we mean when we say tell. Telling occurs when we use lots of exposition to literally tell our reader what's happening in our story. On the flip side of that, you have show. So I kind of try to imagine it as tell is the what and show is the why. So the what, obviously you're exposing what is happening in your story to the reader so they know what's going on, but maybe they don't care. Whereas showing is the why, and we're giving them the characters' reactions and their motivations and their feelings, and it just brings a whole other layer of depth to your story. How do you know that you're telling your story? I personally have 5 kind of clues, I suppose, that I look out for in my own writing to see whether I'm telling a lot. So I thought I would just share those clues with you. So the first one is emotion tags. If you see in your writing a lot of he was happy, she was upset, she was frustrated, they were sad, that's an emotion tag, and that's normally a sign that you are telling. Number 2 is filter words. We hate filter words. There are so many videos on YouTube about filter words and how we hate them. Yeah, there's probably quite good reason. Filter words for me remove the reader from the action of the story, and it can feel quite passive. They're quite tricky. Filter words such as felt, looked, those kinds of things that remove your reader from the action. Number 3 is excessive pronouns. I personally still struggle with this one, and I do find that my second and third edits a lot of the time I'm just spent racking my brains about how to not start a sentence with I, or he, or they, or it. The 4th clue that you're telling too much rather than showing is if your prose become quite factual. If you end up reading things that just say, I don't know, for instance, he went to the shop, she walked down the road. It reads as a list and it's very factual and quite cold. That's a pretty good sign that you're telling. The 5th sign is shorter sentences. If your sentences are quite short and sharp, then normally you've removed your reader from the action of the story. Why do we prefer showing over telling? Obviously it's not a clear-cut thing. As I said earlier, it's never 100% show and it's never 100% tell, and it shouldn't be. But why is it we prefer to show? As writers, we want our readers to feel our story. We want them to experience what our characters are experiencing. We want them to see what they're seeing. And I think for me, that's the biggest reason why we want to show over tell. So I'm just going to don my best teacher hat, and these are my 5 tips to show rather than tell. The first tip, and possibly my favourite one, is to make sure that you're using as many of the senses as possible when you're writing. If you're including touch and taste and smell, as well as sight, obviously, you're including the reader in the action of the story. The second tip is to use active voice over passive voice. This is pretty obvious. You want the reader to be involved in the action rather than kind of be standing outside a window watching the action. Number 3, use more vivid descriptions. This one's a bit of a tricky one, I think, because I love a vivid description, but it's also very easy to get too vivid with descriptions, and then you get bogged down in the description and you forget the action. But yeah, if you can balance this one with the other tips, it works really well. Number 4 is thinking about the why. So as mentioned earlier, if telling is the what of the story, then showing is the why. If you focus on more of the why, you're going to get your reader bought into your characters more, they're going to care more about their motivations, and then naturally that will increase the tension and suspense because they care about the outcome of your story. Number 5 kind of leads off of the vivid description one. So I find when I am showing a lot, my sentences can get long. That's not necessarily a bad thing. And if you focus on longer sentences, you can get more depth in there, you've got more colour to the descriptions. But again, it's good to watch sentence length and chop it up to really get rhythm in your prose. Though we often do prefer to show our reader what's going on in our story rather than tell them, I think it's quite important to remember that sometimes you do need to tell them. If we were to just show 100%, everyone's novel would be so long, it would be massive because the description would just be huge and we would hardly ever get to the point. And sometimes exposition and telling chop up showing in a way that makes showing more effective. So it's important to remember that you need both of them. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. I figured that this kind of video would only really be useful if we could put what we've spoken about into practice to really highlight what it all means. So I've written a really short piece. I've written it deliberately telling, and then I've edited it to blend telling and showing. So yeah, give us a go, please don't at me. The children found the thing down by the seafront. It was nestled between 2 rather exotic looking plants and smelled awful. The stench clung to their nostrils and made them feel quite sick. One child, Scott, prodded the thing with the toe of his boot. It released a green gas into the air. "What is that?" one of the children asked, looking on in disgust. None of them knew the answer, so they just stared at it, confused. So in this really short piece, we can see that there's a lot of telling. There's emotion tags, it's quite passive, it's pretty factual, I think. So I've just rewritten it, trying to focus on showing over telling. The children found the thing down by the seafront, nestled between 2 sprawling, vibrant plants. One child, Scott, prodded the thing with the toe of his boot, wiggling his shoe deep into the squishy surface and gagging as it released a green waft of gas into the air. Particles of the stench clung to the back of their throats, writhing down to their stomachs and churning their recently digested lunch. "What is that thing?" one of the children asked, folding their arms across their chest and levering their torso closer. So in this one, we focused on more vibrant descriptions. We focused on dropping any emotion tags, which I think I did, though they tend to creep up on you. And we really focused on the voice being more active. And I hope it worked. To me, show v tell should be less show v tell. It's always show versus tell. It should be show and tell, like at primary school, where you bring in your favourite things and you show them to your classmates and you tell them about them. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is we should be showing, I personally think, the majority of the time, maybe 70% of the time-ish, and then telling maybe 30% of the time. But it depends on your style. I definitely lean towards showing. It's far more interesting for the reader, and I think it's really important to think of the reader you're writing for. So yeah, those are my words of wisdom. I am by no means an expert in this, but these are just things that I've picked up along the way, and I really hope that they helped. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please do make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that like button and the bell icon so you are notified when I upload videos. Also, please do check out all the other guys that have taken part in this collaboration for Wordstock, and of course check out Robert over at The Story Detective because he's a genius. This has been great fun. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.